Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. Wow. This week, the tech world placed what is basically a trillion-dollar bet on the future. It was a week that saw a huge battle for the brains behind AI, a massive clash between technology and politics, and a really fundamental question about what all this power means for our jobs and, well, our society. So, let's break it down. So here's what we're going to cover today. We'll start with a compensation package that could literally create the world's first trillionaire. Then we'll get into the chip war that's powering all this innovation. From there, we'll connect it to the real-world impact on jobs, see how big tech is colliding head-on with politics, and finally take a look at what it all means for the road ahead.
All right, first up, probably the most mind-boggling headline of the week. A compensation package so unbelievably large it completely redefines the scale of corporate ambition.
And that's really the question here, isn't it? This is the question at the heart of a new proposal from Tesla's board. It's a pay package for CEO Elon Musk that is, and I'm not exaggerating here, completely astronomical.
Yep, you heard that right. $1 trillion. That's the potential value we're talking about. And it's all designed with one single goal in mind, keeping Musk laser-focused on hitting some almost unbelievable targets for Tesla. And people on the inside, they're not just calling this plan ambitious. No, they're calling it a Mars shot. And that's a direct callback to his historic 2018 moonshot package, which just goes to show you how much higher the stakes and the difficulty are this time around. And when you look at what he has to do to get there, wow, the goals are just wildly aggressive. Unlocking this payday means doubling the company's market cap, getting 1 million robotaxis on the road, selling 1 million humanoid robots, and somehow hitting 20 million EV sales in a super crowded market. To be crystal clear, Tesla is nowhere close to hitting these numbers today. But here's the kicker. This deal isn't just about the money and the metrics. Tucked away in the proposal is this really interesting non-financial clause. The board got assurances that Musk would step back from politics. It's a pretty clear signal that investors want his focus 100% on Tesla.
Okay, so all of that ambition, from robots to robotaxis, that stuff requires a staggering amount of computing power. And that brings us to the intense battle over who's going to build the brains of the AI revolution.
So in the world of AI chips, you've basically got two giants who are playing the game very differently. You've got Nvidia, the king of the hill, selling powerful general-purpose GPUs to pretty much everyone, from startups to entire countries. And then you've got Broadcom, and they're taking a totally different path, building these highly specialized custom chips for the absolute biggest of the big players, like Google and, as it turns out, OpenAI.
And Broadcom just pulled off a huge move. They've reportedly landed OpenAI as a brand new customer, and the deal has a future backlog worth a mind-blowing $10 billion. Seriously, with just one contract, Broadcom has cemented itself as the clear number 2 in the custom AI chip race.
So the big question is, does Broadcom's rise mean Nvidia's in trouble? Well, analysts are saying not so fast. Right now, the demand for AI compute power is so massive that it's just not a zero-sum game. The market isn't choosing between them. It needs both. It's an and, not an or kind of situation, where the biggest companies are buying tons from Nvidia, and they're also working with Broadcom to develop custom chips just to keep up.
Now, this high-stakes corporate battle over chips and AI might seem really high level, but it has very real consequences for all of us. So let's shift our focus from the boardroom to the job market and see how this technology is actually impacting people right now.
The latest jobs report out of the US was, well, it was complicated. The broader economy saw some gains, but key tech sectors actually lost a significant number of jobs. We're talking thousands of jobs gone in semiconductor manufacturing and computer systems design, which is raising some really serious questions about AI's role in this whole slowdown. But experts are saying, hey, hold on, don't jump to conclusions. I love this analogy from Sarah Franklin, the CEO of Gladys. She describes layoffs as a fad diet. It's an easy, short-term fix that completely ignores the deeper, harder work of actually transforming your company and reskilling your people for a world driven by AI. And then, to make things even more confusing, you see this crazy headline making the rounds from an MIT report. It suggests that a whopping 95% of corporate AI pilot projects are failing to deliver any real value. That kind of stat feeds directly into this growing fear that the tech just isn't ready. But, and this is so important, the nuance here is everything. What the report makes clear is that it's AI alone that fails. Success isn't about just plugging in an AI and expecting magic to happen.
It's about carefully integrating the technology with human oversight and responsible practices. At the end of the day, AI is a tool, not some kind of silver bullet.
So as tech's power just explodes into every part of our economy and our daily lives, it's really no surprise that politicians and regulators are starting to pay very close attention. This is creating a brand new, really complex battlefield where policy and technology are on a direct collision course.
And this collision, it's happening everywhere you look. Just this week, Europe hit Google with billions in fines over its ad tech. President Trump threatened tariffs to force chip manufacturing to happen in the U.S. A corporate board is trying to limit its CEO's political speech. And you have a candidate in California running on deregulation just to keep tech jobs from leaving the state. And that message from the White House, it is crystal clear, and it has huge implications for the entire global tech supply chain. The policy is simple. Build your semiconductor plants here, in America, and you're good. If you don't, you're going to face some serious financial penalties. This is economic policy being used as a really powerful tool to reshape a critical industry.
Okay, so after a week like this, trillion-dollar pay packages, high-stakes chip wars, job anxieties, political showdowns, what are we supposed to make of all this? Where is it all heading?
You know, what we're really seeing here is an industry in this fascinating state of tension. On one hand, it's accelerating at a pace we have never seen before, with ambitions that are literally reaching for Mars. But on the other hand, it's facing these intense, growing demands for accountability from every possible direction, from investors, from employees, from governments, and from the public.
And that really leaves us with the most important question for this new era, right? As tech gets faster and richer and more powerful, who gets to set the rules? Is it the innovators, the investors, the regulators, or is it all of us? If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.